Welcome to Conversations That Make a Difference with your host, Teresa Velardi. We believe that authentic, meaningful, and diverse conversations are the glue that binds us together. Our discussions remind us we have the power to uplift, challenge, stretch, and invite dynamic growth. Are you, like many, feeling like you're flying by the seat of your pants through life? Join us for conversations filled with gratitude, values, abundance, authenticity, and faith. Here's the host of our show, Teresa Velardi.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Conversations That Make a Difference. As you can see, we have a bunch of guests today. And before we get started, as you know, we start with the Serenity Prayer. So let's do that, and then I'll introduce my guests. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know their difference. It is by God's grace that we are all fabulous, highly favored, and blessed, living in our greatness, using our gifts and talents, changing the lives of others as a result, and we are making a difference in the world one day and one person at a time. We thank you. We say this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Oh my goodness. What a day. It's an exciting day. We are launching a book number 6 in the Daily Gift Book series. I'll just show you the cover of this one for now. We'll talk about the series in a minute. But how about this cover for a Daily Gift of Inspiration? And every single one of these ladies have contributed to this book. And we're going to talk about them and how they be in the world and what they have contributed to this. And I am so blessed and grateful for each and every one of them. So everybody needs a little bit of inspiration these days. And I'm going to introduce each one of these ladies one at a time. My apologies. Amy Olmedo was supposed to join us. She's not feeling well, a little bit under the weather, but we have the fabulous Amanda Beth Johnson, who stepped in for her last minute. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to start with you, Amanda. Your name begins with A.
Okay.
Because I'm exceptionally grateful that you said yes to this last minute call. So Amanda is an intuitive healer, teacher, and writer who believes that authenticity is the highest form of alignment. After decades spent in service roles as a social worker, EMT, business owner, wife, and mother, Amanda Beth found herself burned out, boxed in, and spiritually disconnected. Can any of you relate to that? I can. Theta healing, energy medicine is what she studied when she felt burned out, boxed in, and spiritually disconnected. And in intuitive ethics, she transformed her life and does inspiring work she shares today. She helps clients step into their power, integrate their healing, live free from the stories that once defined them. Known for her down-to-earth wisdom and a touch of Midwestern sass, Amanda Beth creates a safe place, a safe space for transformation that feels both sacred and refreshingly real. She's the author of Life and Energy Healing Journey, and Stepping into Power is her newest book. Stepping into Power, and she has a reflection guide to go with it. So welcome, Amanda Beth, from the state of Ohio. Iowa.
Iowa.
Ohio? No, Iowa. I know this.
I lived in Ohio. I was born there, but no, I'm from Iowa.
Of all states for me to trip on, you lived there.
Yeah, I did. But I have not lived in Idaho, the other one that is often confused.
I see. Okay, well, that's good.
Well, I'm glad the planets were aligned and I could be here to help you celebrate the big launch that we are all such a part of. It's awesome.
It's great to have you here. Thank you so much. We're going to go to Donna Guary. Donna is California native, a retired U.S. Air Force veteran. She is the author of 2 children's books, a family Christmas song and activity book, and a devoted student of the Bible. Donna holds a Master of Arts in Leadership and Bachelor of Science in Christian Ministries. A proud mother of 2 adult sons, she's also the grandmother and great-grandmother. I still can't get past that great-grandmother thing, Donna. I'm sorry. She enjoys traveling, writing, and genealogy research. Passionate about agriculture. She is a member of the National Women in Agriculture Association and serves on the board of GROWS, GROWS, in Ag. It's Oklahoma chapter. Donna resides in Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, you know? She continues to inspire through faith and service. Welcome, Donna.
It is so awesome to be here with all these ladies in red. Thank you so much for the invite.
We didn't plan this. This was a God thing. So let me just show your books. Her first book is Broccoli. It's my favorite vegetable. And then she wrote, Where Does Broccoli Come From? And this is her Christmas nativity story. This is a hymn and puzzle book. And I have so much fun working with Donna. She keeps coming up with these incredible ideas. And we have a lot of work ahead of us. Can't wait to see what's coming next.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. Maria Garcia. Excuse me. Maria Begonia Garcia. Yes?
Yes, you got it.
Maria is a former finance professional whose life was forever changed by a massive stroke at 25 years old. Rebuilding from the ground up forced her to rethink everything she believed about health, resilience, and purpose. Through years of recovery, Maria discovered a powerful nutritional approach that transformed her healing and outlook on life. That experience led her to her true calling. Today, Maria coaches others to reset their relationship with food and reclaim their health, clarity, confidence, and personal power. Maria, welcome to Conversations That Make a Difference. Maria has also written a book, and she's going to tell you the title of it right now.
Here it is. It's called Breaking to the Light, A Journey of Self-Discovery and Transformation. The book is over 10 years old. Right? Now I'm looking to write a second edition.
Yay. We'll talk about that. But that's your story. That's your story from what happened to who you are today and how healthy you are. And all I can say is God is good. You are a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Miss Peggy Willms, the dynamic multi-best-selling author, certified personal trainer, sports performance nutritionist, and health and wellness coach with nearly 40 years. We're not going to say how old we are. Nobody gets to say how old we are on this. No. We are all youthful.
Yes.
40 years of experience spanning the medical fitness and corporate wellness industry. She was a radio host recently and wellness retreat host, founder of All Things Wellness, including her trademark All Things Wellness Wheel, which exemplifies her holistic methodology, integrating nutrition, fitness, mindset, and behavioral changes. She is also a proud grandma of 2 little boys, and boy, are they cute. Yes. And just to show you how busy Peggy is and how much she does in terms of getting information out into the world, she has written with Dr. Marcus Bedstein, Fourfold Formula for All Things Wellness. And she followed that up. This is the trilogy. She followed that up with Win the Wellness War. We Are Responsible. And then, of course, came the Wellness GPS. Get ready for success, right? And then on top of that, she has a wellness journal to go with all of that. Look at this beautiful cover. I love it.
Beautiful.
Yes. And a children's book series too. So this is the first one. And she just has so much creativity. All of you ladies do. And it's just really... it lights me up to be able to have you on my show and to be able to share the experience of being part of a daily gift of inspiration. Mm-hmm. So, yes, Maria, I'm going to start with you. You wrote the foreword and the introduction, I'm sorry, for this book. And this is basically a snippet of your story and your life and how you got through what you went through with the health crisis you went through at 25 years old. You want to talk a little bit about what you wrote in this book? Because I think there are a lot of people who need to hear. You never know what's coming, so you better prepare for it anyway, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's nothing you can prepare for. My whole life just went by.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I ended up at the hospital at 25, and I'm thinking, oh, I must have food poisoning. I ate shrimp. And I get there, they test me and look me over, and they say, Miss, we think you're having a stroke. And I thought,
Wow.
What's a stroke? I didn't even know what that word meant. And within 24 hours, I was paralyzed from here down, which means I was also mute. And I remained that way for 2 weeks before anybody even realized that I was conscious, because everybody thought I was in a coma. But meanwhile, I'm listening. I could hear and see everything. I just couldn't communicate.
That must be, I can't even imagine that. Like, you're there, you are awake, they think you're not, they're saying all these things about your condition, your future, whatever, and you can't respond to anything. No.
Yeah.
Wow. My goodness, I can't even imagine that. But now look at you.
Finally, after almost 2 decades.
And a miracle, a walking, talking miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I met Maria at the gala for Voices Against Trafficking, Courage, Voice of Courage, and I was shocked when I saw her, when I met her. He spent a lot of time talking to Amy, who was going to be here today, but Maria and I got to know each other through her program. Maria, you are making such a difference for people in the world. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's your purpose?
Because it changed my life so much, and I want people to not need to suffer like I did for over a decade, when that can be totally avoided if you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to get from the hospital bed to where you were able to function as as best you could without being hospitalized? How long did it take you? I know you had to go through, other people had to care for you, take care of you, were completely dependent on other people. When did that change, and what was the first step you took to make that change?
Ooh, such a long road. I was in the hospital for 4 months, after which insurance ran out. So I went home in a wheelchair, in diapers, unable to speak but like a word, unable to swallow, and cross-eyed. So very little by little, the first thing that happened was the wheelchair didn't fit through any of my doorways. So I was like, okay. That's when I graduated to using a walker in the house. And little by little, I went from walker to 4-prong cane to regular cane to walking on my own. I eventually joined the gym probably 3 years after I got home. And I was still in pretty bad condition, but I was able to walk unaided.
Mm-hmm. And what was the turning point for you, Maria?
I think one of the biggest things for me was at the gym, I decided to join a yoga class because I figured it's easily adaptable. They're not going to be mad at me if I can't do it. So I enrolled the class, and not only was it a good physical exercise, but it was the first time where the black cloud lifted from above my head. I finally got peace. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's when I finally started thinking about my circumstances in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you took some big bold steps to make a real difference in your life with your diet as well as your exercise. You want to talk a little bit about what you do now that really helped you to get where you are, so that you can help other people. You see this? I know you can't. Everybody has a purpose. I always say this all the time. Everybody has a purpose. And Maria, I believe you stepped into your purpose through the tragedy of that stroke to put you in your purpose. Would you agree?
Yes, I totally agree with that. Totally agree.
So tell everybody how you help other people.
So I coach a nutrition program that basically gave me my life back. The story was 15 years after the stroke, 15, I was 70% recovered, more or less. And I thought, this is it. I'm not going to get any better. So I was just plodding along, went back to school, went to work with a friend. But then I joined the nutrition course out of curiosity. Just curiosity, because I had also been playing with my diet. Macrobiotic, pescatarian, vegetarian, all with different degrees of, I was doing so many things at once that I don't even know what was helping. I did stem cells. I did therapy in Germany for weeks. And then finally, when this came across my lap, I thought, I'm going to learn something new. I'll join. So I enrolled in the course, and within 6 months, I had recovered another 20%, and I got my life back 15 years after a stroke. And I was like, this is sorcery. I can't believe it. What happened to me? So I enrolled to become a coach, but not because I wanted to coach, because I wanted to know what happened to me. I did not understand. So after I enrolled in the certification, we had to have a pilot class during the course. So I did. And then all the people in my class were all having their own miracles. 40 pounds released in 3 months, more than one person. 2 people, CPAP machines gone. Type 2 diabetes injections gone. Gout medication, no more. High blood pressure, and all these miracles. And I thought, oh my God, now I am hooked. I need to do this.
Yeah. Awesome. And she does it very well. She does it very well. I'm going to read something that you wrote in here. She says, the greatest gifts sometimes emerge from unanticipated circumstances, not because suffering is beautiful, but because of what humans learn through it: strength, compassion, wisdom, gratitude, empathy, and purpose. Maria, thank you so much for your contribution to this book. Thank you so much for what you do for other people. Thank you so much for what you've taught me through your journey and through the work that you do now. I'll be talking to you again real soon.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Miss Donna Guary, I'm going to go to you, my dear.
Man.
First of all, you keep coming back for more with this Daily Gift book series. Why is that?
You know, it's funny how it's been some months, but I was feeling kind of, just humdrum. And I just said, Lord, what are we doing? What is it that you want me to do? And he says, I want you to keep writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, okay, if I'm going to write, you're going to have to tell me what to write. You're going to have to give me those subjects. You're going to have to, give me the stories. You're going to just give me the opportunities. And it seems like since that day, all of these different, moments of inspiration, titles are coming. I had my family in stitches earlier this week about a book that I started, I think it was yesterday, and how that came about. So it was so funny that with the daily gift of inspiration, I think I'm up to 6 books since that invitation. And and I said, okay, God, he's really funny. If you ask him, he'll answer.
Careful.
He'll
Careful.
see what he's inviting you to do. So, but I love the subjects, and I just love just encouraging others. So if
Mhm.
there's anything that I can say on any given day, and it's going to encourage someone out there in the world, that
Mhm.
just fills my heart to overflowing. So I appreciate every invitation to be able to contribute. Hmm.
And you have contributed. I think you have contributed. You were one of the people, and one of the reasons why you're here today as a representation for the power of this series of books, because I know people have read some of what you've written and have said, "Oh my goodness, this is right." And that's the beauty of this. They you can pick out a story, and it meets you where you are.
Hmm.
Meets you where you are, regardless of which of these books you pick up. And actually, one of the things you wrote, you put a couple of stories in this one, God's gift of creative inspiration. And she says, God has a beautiful way of meeting us in everyday places. Sometimes inspiration arrives in silence. Sometimes it comes through worship music, nature, or a whisper of the heart. These moments remind us that God is always speaking, always creating, and always inviting us closer to Him. Your faith is one of the things that really resonates in every single one of these books. But the fact that you said He meets us in everyday places, Maria was just sharing her situation. I'm sure God had something to do with her healing, and
Hmm.
you, every single one of these things that I read from you, one of these, stories that I read from you, or essays that I read from you, always have God in the center of it. And that's one of the beautiful things that I love about, because I have the same belief as you do. And I know that He's piling some work on you, sister. He's got
He is.
devotional books coming. You've got more children's books coming. He's giving you songs as you're driving in the car that have to become a book. Even something about bees. And I'm sorry, Amy's not here. Ken is a beekeeper, so
Yes.
lots of stuff. But I'm grateful that that Amanda stepped in for her. But so, what are you doing with all of this stuff?
Well, I'm just writing. I'm doing exactly what I heard. Yeah, just
Mhm.
right. And it's amazing the how the topics are coming. I'm hearing the titles and how they're coming. Like just this week, I woke
Mhm.
up, it was still dark outside, and I hear like I don't even think my eyes were open very well, and I heard, "Let's build a garden." But right after I heard, let's build a garden, I heard, do you want to build a snowman?
I'm frozen.
That's good.
And I said, what? So then I heard the title again. Then right behind it, I heard, do you want to build a snowman? I said, what is going on? So I had to sit up because I wasn't even up out of bed yet. So I'm sitting up and I'm thinking, what's happening to me? Why am I hearing both of these things? So I gave way to it and I went to YouTube and I pulled up the song. I knew exactly what the song was. And so I pulled up the whole video and I watched it several times, just trying to understand how does that relate to let's build a garden. Well, when you say it, you can almost hear the you can almost hear the song. And so I said, okay, what is it about this song that has to do with let's build a garden? And so when you think of the concept of this little girl trying to get her sister to come out and basically play, and of course there's things going on behind the scenes that she doesn't know, but the answer is still either silence or no. and and so I found that as I pressed into let's build a garden, it was the same concept. There's these two kids who have now moved with their families and they're in this new home, but her other older brother is pretty sad. He's missing his friends, and then here's his little peep squeak sister on the other side of the door saying, "Can we build a can we build a garden?" And of course, his answer is no. Get away from my door, right? So I just pressed into the storyline, and so there was the concept of, do you want to build a snowman? And so that's the concept of let's build a garden. So
Build a garden.
yeah, so there we have it. So here's
Yeah.
another book that I wasn't even expecting.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. And I laugh, Dizzy and I laugh all the time about the fact that everything's a song. Peggy knows this too. Everything's a song.
Oh yeah.
Something will come up and all of a sudden there's a song that comes in my head and it comes out of my mouth and it's like, okay, what next? What next?
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
That's so
it's all
true.
good. It's all
Yeah.
good. So true. Thank you, Donna, for being part of this series, for being
Oh,
part of
thank
each and every
you.
one of these gifts. These books, you are a gift to the series. And anybody who wants inspiration, any one of these books will inspire you. This
Mhm.
one is particularly grounded on the daily gift of inspiration itself. So yeah, lots of good things coming in the future too. Donna, thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amanda Beth. So here we are. You just released your book not long ago, and your reflection book right behind it. And in the meanwhile, then you decide you also have been a steady in these books. You've been in most of them also. And here we go with a daily gift of inspiration, and you've got all this stuff going on. You're writing your books. You've got all kinds of things happening in the background. And see, I get to know these ladies, so I know what's going on in their worlds. And it's so awesome to be part of it. And sometimes offer encouragement, sometimes say, holy cow, how can I do that? Sometimes I get boxes of things at my door that are like little surprises from people. And I love it, love it, love it. So, Amanda, why are you part of these books? You're muted, dear. You're muted.
There
you are.
I'm back.
Okay.
Hit a power blip or something here. I feel that we are all called to do something, and that the Daily Gift series is the gifts that we bring to one another, to other humans. And so just in my life work, it's always, what is it that lights you up? What lights me up is helping other people. And if I can share any part of my story, and what I love the most about the Daily Gift is, although I write books, I'm not a huge reader. Reading, I have learning disability, dyslexic and dysgraphic, so reading is not pleasurable for me, but I like short snippets of things that I can read. They're just a lot easier to read, and I find them, so the opportunity to be a part of that, you can't miss it. We've gone down our paths, and I feel that it's my turn to shine the light for others and lighten their path, lighten their way, provide them with some direction if they choose to take it. So, and you make it really easy to work with the process in the book.
Thank you. Yeah, this is this was an assignment. I feel like it was an assignment, and the people who bring the stories, every single one of them, like have stepped up. You step up in a big way, and especially like today, 20 minutes before we go in live, Amanda, can you help me out? Yeah. So, and it's wonderful to have you here. I think that we all have something to say about each and every one of these. And sometimes people don't have a lot to say. Like you say, it's just a little snippet of information, a short story, a short essay that can touch someone's soul. And there's something here for everyone. So, and you bring your intuition. You don't just hear words, you feel energy. Amanda says she senses where belief has dimmed, where hearts have hardened, and where something within is quietly waiting to awaken. It's in those moments, inspiration becomes more than a feeling. It's sometimes a sacred responsibility, a choice to rise, to respond, to become a vessel for something greater. So pause and listen, she says. What is your soul whispering to you? Ask Donna. She gets it in song. So what have you walked through that now holds medicine for someone else? What are you being, and Maria, that's you. You hold medicine for someone else and what you've learned and what you teach, so that's, it's true, right? What if you walk through that now holds medicine for someone else? What are you being guided to create, shift, or elevate? It's not random. Your inspiration is guidance, an inner voice you can learn to recognize and trust. It's alignment. It's your path unfolding. Trust it. Yeah.
This one was hard. This topic, it was like inspiration. And so I don't know. I just do. And it's like, but when I find it, the words find their way to a page and find their way to you, and you have a way to put them all together so that everyone can share in them and grow.
Yeah, exactly. There's something for everyone in this series. And what I just said, trust it. People say, well, I don't know what I'm going to write. Well, I thought about this and I thought about that. I would just trust that that's something you're supposed to speak about. So notice we all speak the same language. We all speak the same language. It's not just filled with inspiration. It's filled with hope. It's filled with gratitude. It's filled with kindness. It's filled with a peaceful essence about it, regardless of what any of us have been through. And, you're looking right now at friendships that have been built through the connections with one another. And I'm just grateful for each and every one of you, each and every one. So, Amanda, thank you. There's more from Amanda Beth Johnson in A Daily Gift of Inspiration. Don't miss it. It's on sale for $10 right now.
Just launched today. You got to keep telling them, Teresa.
Yes, go get it. Go get it. Go get it.
Yeah, go get it. So here's the deal. Go get your copy of Daily Gift of Inspiration. It's $10. It's only going to be $10 probably until the end of the week. So make sure you get your copy. But when you buy a copy, it helps all of the authors in here move closer to having the title of bestseller behind their name as a contributing author to this book series. So go get your copy for A Daily Gift of Inspiration. And by the way, all of the others are on sale too for $10 while this launch period is going on. So if you want to get A Daily Gift of Gratitude, you can get that. And that was the first one in the series. And hey, I grew up on that beach right there that you see. I grew up on that beach. And then you can get A Daily Gift of Hope. That's the lighthouse at Montauk. I grew up on Long Island and I just love it. Kindness. We help one another. We reach forward. Every single one of these covers has a place in my heart. A Daily Gift of Peace. All of these things put together bring a sense of peace to you, which creates much better friendships and relationships with one another. And then all of that to me is inspiration. And that's why we have A Daily Gift of Inspiration in the place where it is. So be sure to get your copy. These make great gifts for people. And I hope that you will take advantage of the sale because they are all on sale for $10 each. We're trying to figure out how to do a box set. We're working on that. Miss Peggy Willms, what can I say about you?
Let's just call it a wrap.
Yeah, wrap you up with a bow. You're a present. You're a gift. Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah, I have known Peggy for like 7 years now or something like that. I met her when I was part of a compilation book and she interviewed me on her show and we hit it off. We were definitely connected soul to soul, as many of us are, that you see here. I do believe God puts people together for a reason. And so Peggy and I have been on this journey through book publishing and all the other stuff that goes along with these books and her books and your books. She's she's such a gift to me and to my life and to each and every one of you. But you don't know it, but now you're finding out the truth of the matter. So, Peggy, why do you like writing in these books?
Well, I started writing compilation books before you had this series. So you were my publisher for the 4 compilation books that I did. And I've always written, like the children's book you held up. I wrote that in 2001, and it took me 20 years to get it published. But I met Teresa looking for somebody to publish a children's book initially. And then I was like, I just always have looked kind of opposite of Amanda. Amanda, I was hearing her say, if I can help or inspire others, I want to write and help others. For me, I just felt like a chute, almost like a vessel where I was just supposed to be present for everybody to write their stories through. And I was just supposed to get the word out there. And so for authors coming to me, I was like, tell me, and let's get it in a book. And I wrote a book on unsheltered homelessness as well, and have 30 stories of people that are unsheltered. So I just pictured myself, hurry up and get it out there. I wrote 6 books in 2 years because I just felt such a level of urgency. And then when Teresa was doing these books, I was freelance editing and kind of doing some stuff on the side. And so we just got to be closer, and the book just kind of hit home. I'm also like Amanda, I'm picking on her, but I'm like, I'm a writer, but I ain't a reader. I fall asleep on page 3 and I have to start over every single night, and I can't get past page 3. Right. So as far as the book goes, I think that especially with this one, I wrote about my son's tragic motorcycle accident. For me, I was looking for someone who inspired me versus me trying to see if I could come up with a story of inspiring others. I really struggled with this book of the 6. Same thing, Amanda. I struggled with, like, what in the heck am I going to write that's inspiring? It almost felt like bragatory, right? Or selfish, like I'm inspiring. I'm like, I'm not inspiring. So that's kind of what I wrote about in this book with somebody else.
But you did write something that I don't know that it had anything to this one. This one's almost like a poem, different style for you.
Oh,
but
the poem I wrote. Yeah.
Inspiration and open door. I have to read this.
Oh,
Inspiration slides through the door, left ajar, a gentle breeze that clears the room. It speaks in small moments, a quiet nudge that chases gloom. It stays in everyday moments, a coworker's patience, a child's brave cheer, a soft hum of city noises, a simple clue that helps us steer. It sits in the heart, growing outward, making gaps glow with light and care. It turns dull routines into a map, helping us choose a plan to share. It comes in colors, in new ideas, in careful revising and trying, the stubborn will to start again, even when doubt keeps flying. Inspiration isn't a spotlight, but a warm dance across the floor. It shows that one well-placed word can lift a room, a friend, or more. It teaches me to listen to the ordinary, to notice a quiet pull, to trust the next right move, even when plans feel tricky or dull. When fear is tiredness creeping in, inspiration answers with steady kindness. It gives me rhythm, breath, and a reason to try again, to build, to learn, to grow kindness. So I carry it forward, not as a quest, but as a teamwork and craft, a simple invitation to notice, to choose, and to shape a tomorrow from today's draft. And every single one of those words speak to somebody in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
That poem touches on, the dancing across the dance floor. I was a dancer. To do all these things, it's just like, they speak to me. You never know who's going to read this.
Right.
And so that's why I love having so many voices. You've been in every one of the books, Peggy. You've been in
I think what's so appetizing, it's very chicken soup of the soulish, right? It's like a 250 word story. You can pick it up. You can pick it up in the middle. You can be at an airport, sitting on a beach, reading it. It's a great gift for somebody who's maybe not a reader. It's good for all ages. There's not anything that is age specific, race specific, religion specific, gender specific. And it touches everything medical to spiritual to, so I mean, that's why, and I love working on the books. I've worked on all 6 of your books with, you know, most of them have 90 authors in them. So if you look, some of them are repetitive, they come back, which is great. And I can see how they evolve over time. But in the last 2 years, I mean, there's over 600 authors we've worked with.
Yeah.
That's between all the books. That's
amazing.
a lot.
It's a lot of people.
That is a lot.
A lot of voices. So if you think you need to find an author that you really like to follow, you can follow these authors. Some of them are in every book. You can find an author who's in every single book and will share one or more, at least one or more stories. Many of them share more stories for you to read if you like their writing style. And the other thing about this is that a lot of the people in this book are also people who have authored books through my publishing company. And in the back of the book, you can find out a little something about every single one of them. There's a place where you can see the authors, place where you can see their bios and how to contact them in some cases, and their websites, or if you want to get to know them more, you can find out enough information to make a contact and see if you can work together. I'm all about collaboration and community. And anybody who knows me, anybody who has been around me for a while knows that I love to make connections for people. And now, of course, we have once a month on the last Wednesday at 6:00, we have Coffee Talk. And it's just community. It's just people meeting people who are in my circle. And I know a lot of people.
You know, Teresa, I know a lot of people watch your podcast, and when they see author panels, it can be a little bit intimidating for those who have always wanted to write and are fearful or don't think they're writers. I mean, I think what we've learned over time, and you guys have learned this with who you're exposed to, is everybody has the ability to write, because we're all storytellers, because we're in one. We are our own movie. And just so that if you ever are interested in writing a story, because we have another one coming up at the end of the year, because we have nothing else to do but to write these books. But
God told Donna, keep writing. God told her, and she told us. So therefore, God told us, keep writing.
We've got one coming up with happiness and joy. And I think for anybody out there who's like, gosh, I'd like to be a part of this, but I don't know what to do, or I'm scared, or I'm nervous. We'll hold your hand through it. You can talk into your phone and an email to us. I mean, you don't have to be perfect. We can help you massage it or whatever, but we all started, right, ladies? We all started somewhere, and we weren't blogging or anything in the beginning. So I just want people to know that we hold their hand a little bit and keep their voice.
And Teresa, you ladies put this together in such an easy way, because I know there's been a couple of the books that I've contributed to, and I've said, okay, what are you looking for? Because I remember the first book I joined was kindness, and I had my big idea about kindness, and I wrote it before, because I was in another networking group with you, Teresa, and I'd heard about it, and I was excited, and I wrote what I thought was my definition of kindness, and I submitted it to you. And then all the information came out, because you send ideas, starters. Here's some suggestions, here, get the juices flowing. And I read it and I was like, oh, that's not what I submitted to you. And then you said, no, that is exactly what it is. There is not a wrong story. And this is perfect. This is such a safe environment that, yes, I think my first story, Teresa tweaked a couple different words, or whoever was editing that day, but it's still my story. It's still my feel and my take on it. And I think that it is so important, because I know when I wrote my very first book, I said, I'll never write a book. I can't write my name. What do you mean I'm going to write a book? And I did. And there are so many people there to help you, to support you. But this is an easy way to really get published. And it's a huge, big deal, because as soon as people find out you published anything, all of a sudden you are the expert on it, whether you know you are or not.
Yes, exactly. exactly.
And I say, oh no, talk to my girl Teresa.
And yeah, and you have the celebrity factor, you know, like you become an author. And in the United States, there's 3 ways for you to be recognized as a quote unquote celebrity. It's sports figures, actors and actresses, and authors. Authors are, you know, that's the way you want to get your name in lights. You can take this as far as you want it. And you know, your story is your story. And I love what you said, Amanda, about, you know, maybe just tweaked a few words, but it was still your story. One of the things we are adamant about is keeping the author's voice alive and well on the pages of the book, whether it's a short story or whether it's a full-fledged book. It's important because I know someone that had an editor who thought that it was her job to make everything look the same and sound the same. And we don't do that here. Every single one of these stories is in your voice as you wrote it, and modified grammatically in some cases, you know, punctuation or whatever, but we make sure that your story stays as true to you as it was when you put it on the page. So yeah. And we have people from all over the world who write with this. It's so cool to have international books, and it's just really good. And you know, these make a difference in a lot of different ways. Some of the money that comes from the sale of the books goes to an organization called Voices Against Trafficking. And for those of you who don't know, I work with my producer, Dizzy D, and Andy Berger from Voices Against Trafficking. And last year we did DJs Against Trafficking. This year we're doing it again, DJs Against Trafficking and Hunger. And this is going to be on September 26th. We're doing the very best we can to gather the best of the best in a 2-hour panel of conversation, bringing awareness and information that can change your lives and the safety of your children and those you love from being victimized by this incredibly horrific modern day slavery. And so on September 26th, we will be live for 20 hours of music and conversation about ways to live a better life in terms of the awareness that you will have for keeping people who you love safe from this horrific cultural thing that's going on. We're going around the world. 5 continents. DJs will come from 5 continents, and they'll be playing wholesome music. They'll be playing good music. There'll be good conversation, and Andy Berger will be my co-host for this event. So be sure to set some time aside. Watch Facebook on my page. Watch the website, djsagainsttrafficking.com, that we just had created. Go there and listen to The Soul 105.3, where it will all be broadcast throughout the day. And we're going to do this every year. So please step up. If you know somebody who has been part of this mission and you want to bring them to the table, please just contact me or contact Andy Berger, and we'll make sure that their voice gets heard on this event. So yeah, interesting. And ironically, the bottom line, I met Maria at an event that was hosted by Andy Berger, and they do good things for people. Maria, how did you meet Andy?
She's part of a same networking group that I'm part of, Connected Leaders Academy. Mm-hmm. And she shared probably 30 seconds of who she was, and I was so enthralled. I said, I need to speak with this woman. Mm-hmm. And I did. And she let me know about her event. And
yeah. Thank you. So see, there's a gift in everything. Andy introduced me to Maria. And hey, if you think that we're not all connected, think again. I'm living proof with the people who I'm connected with and how I got there. It's nothing that I could have done myself and not made up. So, all right. So we have about 10 minutes left. Maria, Any final words from you as to what's next for you in terms of will you be part of the next book, Happiness and Joy?
I don't want to give a definitive answer, but I'm definitely thinking about it.
There you go.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice. So what's next for you in terms of your business? Do you have a class coming up? Do you have somewhere so people can get in touch with you? How can they reach out to you so that they can be part of your mission in life?
I have a class coming up on August 10th. You can go to my website and I do calls, like discovery calls. They're complimentary, so if you're interested, take a look and I'll tell you how it all works.
Awesome. And that's genuinelymaria.com, yes? Yes. Okay, great. Hope people reach out to you. Donna, what's next for you, Donna? All right, wait a minute. Let me see here. How many titles of books did we talk about the other day?
Was it, I don't know, was it 7, 8?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Yeah, yes. And I thought of another one that we didn't mention earlier today. I was out at the National Women in Agriculture. We're setting up for a 2-week camp starting Monday for third graders through ninth graders, entering third grade through ninth grade. So they'll be learning about composting and gardening and entrepreneurship and all that for the next 2 weeks, starting next Monday. So we're preparing for that.
Tell people where in the country you are so that they want to join you.
Yes, Oklahoma City is where it'll be held at the National Women in Agriculture headquarters building on Martin Luther King Avenue. So preparing for that, I've got I'll be at a preparatory academy school on this Friday with the books. So we'll be doing that on Friday, hopefully doing a farm tour on Saturday, and then the camp starts on Monday. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let out a little secret that we didn't tell anybody. Donna gave me the name of a woman who is looking to write a children's book, and we had a conversation. And I said, "So how did you meet Donna?" And she said, "I was at an event, and she was there with her gelato. Oh my God, the gelato is so good." She was like, "So." It was she like literally rolled her eyes like she was tasting the gelato at the time that she told it to me, and I was like, "Yeah." So you were stationed in Europe and Italy, and you learned how to make Italian gelato.
Yes, yes. So I have I was stationed at Aviano Air Base in Italy, up northeast part of the country, and so I left there with just this brilliant idea that just one day I was going to have a gelateria, because there was this one that I would go to as a young airman stationed there in Italy, and I was determined that every payday I was going to go there and start at the top of the menu. And there was over 100 dishes. And so I said, I am going to work my way through this menu, starting with number 1. Well, it just so happens my first visit, there was this very simple dish. It was in one of those little stemmed glasses, the schooners. And it was vanilla gelato with slices of fresh strawberries and whipped cream and a nice little cookie. And I said, "Oh my goodness." And I think I strayed from that dish maybe twice.
Wow.
So I never made it through the list. I never made it through the menu. I was enthralled with that first one, as simple as it was. And yeah, I didn't make it through the list. So I was determined I was going to have my own gelateria when I got to the States. And it took a bit. It didn't happen until I moved here to Oklahoma in a snowstorm. Inspiration. I couldn't get away from it, and so we started it. And so we've been doing just all kinds of festivals and things up until COVID, and then everybody was shut down
a little bit. Everybody shut down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
now
yeah, so now we're doing it. We've done a few weddings since then, birthday parties. I did the 250th celebration
Nice.
at our church for 4th of July on last Sunday, and that was amazing. And so yeah, so
Awesome.
that's like my side gig.
It's a side gig. Like she needs a side gig, and she's amazing. You're all amazing. Amanda, what's next for you? And Donna, do you want to give any contact information?
Sure. I could be reached at D Guary, and that's Guary 5757 at gmail.com. And we're on Facebook. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Amanda, what's next for you, darling?
Oh, well, we're going to help everyone just really go through my latest books and work through that reflection guide. There's a community support that goes with that, so everyone can share their ahas or go a little deeper when they work with me. They can contact me through amandabethhealing.com. And this coming weekend, I will be in Nixa, Missouri at the 25th Metaphysical Show. I'll have my books there and be ready to work with some folks and share some inspiration.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Miss Peggy.
I can tell you, I don't know what's next unless Teresa tells me what's next. Teresa guides my days these days, you guys.
Oh my goodness.
Life just changes, right? So I was kind of doing my own thing, and we had a couple of family tragedies that spun me on my head a little bit, and trying to figure out what I want to do the rest of my life. So to be serious, but joking serious, I really don't know. Honestly, I'm at that place in my life where I'm trying to figure it out and figure out what's next. And in the meantime, I'm doing freelance editing for Teresa and helping her with social media and her marketing plans. And it just felt like a safe place to be because I do align with her. And so for the rest of you, there are so many ways to collaborate and have a sense of community and to work together. It can be, you can be bartering something. Remember the day we used to be like, I'll cut your hair if you'll give me a massage, right? You guys? So
I need a massage.
I know, I've done it. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I'd like to do is a call to action to any of the men out there that are wanting to share anything with mental health. We got you. This is a great way for just any of these stories, or reach out if you have a story to tell or you can help people. My son is a best-selling author, and I'll tell you, him writing his stories has affected his friends and family. So my call to action is anybody with mental health. Let's help you massage what you're going through in words and help others while we help yourself. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And for those of you who are interested in knowing more about the next book in the Daily Gift book series, A Daily Gift of Happiness and Joy, and you can see that on dailygiftbookseries.com, or you can go to AuthenticEndeavorsPublishing.com. The page is part of that website, and all the information is there. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you can just reach out to me at teresavelardi@gmail.com or info@AuthenticEndeavorsPublishing.com. And we're happy to help you along the way in making decisions on whether or not you want to contribute to that book. That one will come out around Thanksgiving. But in the meanwhile, everybody, help us become a bestseller. Go get your copy of A Daily Gift of Inspiration. And who do you know who has a birthday coming up? Me. Who do you know who has an occasion that you would have to bring a gift to someone? Or who do you know who you can just like share a minute of your time, even reading a story. We have Mary, who is part of my team, who is. She just does an amazing job with these videos and getting them out to the world. All of this will be put into shorts and whatnot so that each one of you can share a little bit of what we've done here today with your community. And Mary has been going to places to read the books, story at a time. One day she'll bring Daily Gift of Hope. And next time she'll bring A Daily Gift of Kindness. The next time, one of the other books. But she's been sharing these stories with some of the elderly community, and they're really, really responding to the stories. So you're contributing stories to these books are making a real difference in the lives of other people through people like Mary, who are sharing them to those who may not longer have the ability to read because their vision has gone bad or for whatever other reason, but they're hearing you. They're hearing your stories. You're making a difference one at a time. Mm-hmm. This little thing here says we are done for the day. Do you believe that an hour has gone by already? Yes. I've been I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who has shared today. Thank you, Amanda, Maria, Donna, Peggy, for being part of this show, and for each and every one of you who are listening. And go please like and share, subscribe, not only the podcast site on Facebook, Daily Gift of Inspiration. Daily Gift of Inspiration is on the brain. Conversations That Make a Difference podcast. And you also can watch us on YouTube, Teresa Velardi. Be sure to subscribe and share with people that you know and love. Make a difference in their life. Until next time, I hope that every conversation that you have is making a difference in the life of someone else and in yourself. We'll see you next week. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to the close of another episode of Conversations That Make a Difference with host Teresa Velardi. We want to sincerely thank you for tuning in and sharing your time with us today. Our greatest hope is that today's discussion inspired your personal growth, encouraged you to share your unique gift, and gave you the courage to write your own magnificent story. If this message resonated with you, let's keep the conversation going. Take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on our Conversations That Make a Difference Facebook page. This will ensure you never miss a moment of inspiration. We air new episodes every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It truly helps us reach and empower more people. Until next time, keep making a difference. We look forward to welcoming you back next Tuesday to our next conversation.